Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at the new Chanel oversized highlighters. So these are now available in the US. They are available at boutiques. I purchased mine from the Aventura Boutique from Paloma. I'll leave her information down below in the description box, but they are sort of online as well. Like you can see them. I personally keep getting an error message every time I try to click on them, but they're there. They're on the site. So we should be able to order those very soon. So I picked up two of them. There are three shades. There is the gold shade that we have seen many times over. This is the Pearly White, which is supposed to be new. We'll talk about that in a second. And then I also picked up the Precious Coral. So you can pick your symbol that you want for these highlighters and you can pick your color. So it's kind of like the Hourglass palettes, you're customizing it. So I picked, this is the La Comete version, and this one here is the Perles, Late Pearl. And you've got quite a few others. So I'll put the photo for those up on the screen, but you can see we've got like the classic lion, the chain symbol and so forth. And yeah, just the Camelia and so forth. So there are some classic Chanel designs and you can choose. I personally feel like this particular launch, I wish they had been minis, because I feel like if they had been minis and priced a little bit lower, they would be something like collectible. I could see people collecting those in the different designs, you know, and so forth. And it would have been great if they had 5 different shades. But anyway, let's move on to the ones that I picked up. So first, the Pearly White. And, you know, in here, when you're looking at in the pan, it just looks like a nice satiny white. But when you actually go to touch it, you can see, focusing there, it is a glittery white. So this is going to be more of a glittery highlight. That's not going to be true for the Precious Coral. Now I have to say, in the photos, I thought the Precious Coral looked more pink, but it is definitely going to be more of a peachy coral shade. And this is going to have more of a satin finish. So you can see you've got a highlighter sheen without the glitter. So definitely a couple differences. Let's go ahead and jump to the demos, and then we'll come back and talk more about these. Now, as we're looking at the demos, just a few details. These are the oversized highlighters. So we have an 18-month shelf life. We have 14 grams of product. So these are definitely large. I will never use this up. You know, I have no misconceptions about that. Now, these are made in Italy. So just something to note, they do not come with any sort of brush or applicators. Now, as for the highlighters themselves, you know, I think they are nice highlighters. In the demos, I'm using a few different brushes so that you can see how they apply. And in that first demo, you know, I'm using the Sonia G Mini Cheek, which, you know, gives a little bit more product to the face. You can see that. I have the Chanel Rose Ecrin Blush on underneath that. And then I'm also using the Omnia Gold Fan Brush, which will give you an even more soft appearance with the highlighter. Then I also wanted to see how the Precious Coral would look as an illuminating blush. So I used the Sonia G Classic Cheek on that. And, you know, I figured no blush in that time. So that's just straight onto foundation. And I wanted to see how that would look. And then I figured might as well just go ahead and do the Pearly White that way as well. You can really see the glitter with the Pearly White that way. The Precious Coral does work as an illuminating blush depending on your skin tone and your undertone and so forth. For me, I probably won't use it that way, but it is a nice soft look. It's not going to be super pigmented for a blush, but it can work that way. So between the two of them, I have to say I do prefer the finish of the Precious Coral, but I love the color of the Pearly White. Now, let's take a look at a few comparisons, because I have to say I'm a little disappointed that this particular Pearly White highlighter is so similar to the new holiday highlighter. Of course, I'm looking all around on my desk for it, and it's sitting right here. So this is the new holiday highlighter, the Duo Lumiere. And we have 2 shades here. So we have kind of this more, it's more of a nude-based champagne shade. And then on the bottom, we have more of an ivory white. And you can see how similar that is to the Pearly White. And let me just go ahead and show these to you mixed. Now this highlighter formula, this shimmer, is going to be the same as the Pearly White. Let me go ahead and swatch the two whites right next to each other so you can see those side by side. But this is the one from the Duo Lumiere. And this is from the Pearly White. So you can see that the tone looks ever so slightly different. But honestly, to see the differences, I had to, I did this before I was filming. I had to go outside. I went to different rooms to get different lighting and so forth to really see if there is a difference or if they are exactly the same. They look that close. They're like 99% identical. But I can see in certain lighting that the holiday one is ever so slightly warmer, a little more ivory. It's not significant at all. You cannot tell on the skin. You can't even tell with the swatches when you pile up the product in the majority of the lighting settings. So, that I think is a little disappointing because they are so incredibly similar and they're launching at the same time. And this Pearly White was promoted as a new shade. So is the Precious Coral, by the way. But I just feel like the Pearly White is the same as the holidays. So it's a little disappointing there that I just ended up with two highlighters that are essentially the same. So for Chanel highlighters, that's really going to be your major comparison there for the Pearly White. But I did want to look at some other highlighters with the Precious Coral. Just so I have more space, I'm going to go ahead and switch to my hand for these. So I'm going to put the Precious Coral going right across the top here. And then let's go ahead and take a look at some others. So this is the Blush Lumiere and Peche Rosé that came out a couple of years ago. And this, when I first saw the Precious Coral in person, this is what it made me think of. Now your finish is going to be different. We definitely have more of a sheen with the highlighter. It's obviously going to be a little lighter, a little more peach, whereas this is a little bit more, it's deeper. So you've got that deeper peach there. But they do have a very similar appearance. Now, this is more of a blush shade versus a highlighter shade. But, color-wise, I think they're pretty close. Now, I wanted to take a look at a couple others as well. This is the Fleur de Printemps, and I've got two shades here. So let's go ahead and put those here. You can see we have more of a metallic finish with the first one and then more of this satin. This finish here is going to be more similar to the Precious Coral. It's just not as evident with the deeper shade. You're not seeing as much light reflection in the camera as I am in person, I think. But you can see these are definitely going to be more pink. And if we were to mix them together, that's Fleur de Printemps mixed. So you can see those are significantly more pink than the Precious Coral. And then just so we might as well take a look at this. This is Les Chaine de Chanel. This color is not going to be similar. So I'm going to put this all the way over here on the side. But I did want to show you this so you can kind of see the chain design. And you can also see the finish on these is going to be pretty similar. So if you have this particular highlight, the Precious Coral finish is very, very similar to this. So there's very, very, very ultra fine micro glitter. So to the point where you're getting that sheen, but no actual glitter particles that are evident in both of these highlighters. So in the Les Chaine and in the Precious Coral. This is Pearl de Lumiere. So I wanted to take a look at this, but I think this is going to be more gold. Yes, it's definitely more golden. And then this is Rêve de Camelia. And again, this color is not going to be the same either, but I did want to go ahead and include that as a comparison. So we're just going to go ahead and take the Pearly White here. And I'm just going to swatch this at the bottom of all of these. So you can just see how the colors and tones kind of go with the two new Chanel highlights. So those are my comparisons for the Chanel oversized highlighters. Overall, my thoughts on the highlighters, I think they are very nice. Chanel always comes out with some great highlighters. I would have, as I mentioned before, I would have loved to see these in minis versus the oversized. And I would have loved to see, perhaps different shades or even different finish options for the shades. Like I would love to see the Pearly White in a finish that's more like the Precious Coral, especially since the holiday one came out and it's almost identical. So I feel like that was a little bit of a missed opportunity because the oversized highlighters, they're an investment. You know, you're definitely, not only are they investment monetarily, but they're an investment in the quantity of product and space that's taking up on your vanity. So it's something that you really want to use. I would have loved to have, you know, perhaps some more options, one for each of the different symbols and in a smaller size. So they're just a little bit more, you know, you're more likely to use them up. So those are my thoughts on that. I do think they are nice formulas though. And if you enjoy Chanel highlighters, then I'm sure you will love these as well. Just beware that if you are also purchasing the holiday highlighter, they are going to be very, very close to the Pearly White. Chanel has also launched another highlighting product. This is the Sublimage Le Concentré Lumiere. So I haven't opened this yet, but I did order this and it's here. So I will begin testing that and I'll have that up very soon. But that will be a liquid highlighter. And, you know, obviously being a liquid, it's going to perform a little bit differently and perhaps have some more options such as underneath foundation wear and so forth. So I do hope that this was helpful. I'd love to know what your thoughts were on the highlighters. Because they were oversized, I almost didn't pick them up originally, but of course I ended up caving because it's always so hard to resist Chanel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and please share with me what your favorite design is, favorite shade from these down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these products and which do you prefer, the actual holiday highlighter or the new oversized? For me, I think I prefer the holiday highlighter. I love the design on it. I love having the two shades in the smaller packaging. So for me, that would be my preference, but I think these new oversized ones are really nice as well. So definitely let me know your thoughts. Again, thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a wonderful day.